Hi guys, welcome to another video. First of all, sorry I haven't been uploading videos for the last week or so. Been having camera troubles and well, basically my battery on my camera was being a twat and had to buy a new battery for it, so that's why there's been a delay. Now I had planned to make a video, and this is the video that I had planned. It will take up a lot of videos, probably 3, 4, maybe 5, so they'll be in parts again. And I really my idea is to basically give you my personal opinion on each and every classic Doctor Who story. Basically, obviously from the Unearthly Child all the way to Survival. And also I'll probably go as far as to mention the Paul McGann movie. Now this video is going to be very controversial, I would assume, because my opinions are going to be different to some of your opinions, but that's cool. I if you guys agree, or equally if you... Yeah, thanks for that. If you agree with me, or equally if you disagree with me, comment and let me know your opinions on some of the stories. I mean, we all have our favourites and we all have our disfavourites or least favourites. So yeah, it's going to be quite exciting to find out what you guys think of my opinions, I guess. Now, before I get into all that, I just want to obviously show you my background. Here, obviously, it's a little collage that I made. Just basically cut up a Doctor Who magazine that I had lying about. See if any one of you can guess which issue. It's all from the same magazine. See if any of you can guess which issue it came from. Basically, I just cut out pictures and stuck them on a bit of cardboard and made a collage. I'm going to make quite a lot of these in the future. Stick them on my wall. They're quite effective. I really like it. Quite a lot of Elizabeth Sladen on this one, but it's not a bad thing. It's definitely a good thing. So yeah, I mean, let me know what you think of it. I suppose if you really love it, then let me know, or if you hate it, let me know. Anyway, let's begin with my opinions on Doctor Who. I will give a rough, very brief rough outline of each story, if I can remember what happens in it, because some of these stories I haven't seen for quite a while, if they're not on DVD, because I've obviously I sold my video collection a long time ago. So anyway, let's begin. The first episode is, or the first story should I say, is The Unearthly Child. Now, being that this is the very first Doctor Who story, it's obviously fantastic. My favourite part of the story really is the first episode, because it's the introduction of Doctor Who. You get introduced to the Doctor and Susan, also Barbara and Ian play a vital role in this episode. The rest of the story, basically they go back in time and basically visit, or land by accident if you like, into a cavemen place, back to the cavemen, and they have to make fire to, impress the cavemen and to kind of get them on side, and it's all a palaver, and eventually they manage to slip away. So my personal opinion on this story, if we forget for a moment that it is the first ever Doctor Who story, if we put that to one side, I really like the story. I think it's very entertaining and fun to watch. So my overall score for this story is 7 out of 10. Okay, so the next story is the Daleks. Now, this is the first time, obviously, we ever get to meet the Daleks. Bear in mind, at this point in time, obviously, the Daleks were unheard of. We had no idea what they were, no idea of the success of Daleks, or for that matter, for Doctor Who. I've always felt that this story lacked excitement in some parts, because it did seem quite slow. But really, it's because they are introducing the Daleks, they're introducing Skaro, and we're getting used to the idea of the Daleks. So I mean, having said what I said about it being a little bit lacking of excitement, I guess really they couldn't do much about it. Basically, Doctor and his companions, they land on the planet Skaro, which is the home planet of the Daleks. They get captured by the Daleks, and then there's another race called the Fowls, and they basically get in touch with the Doctor. The Doctor escapes with his companions, and then basically they join forces, attack the Daleks, defeat the Daleks, and go home. That's pretty much the gist of the story, and I'm giving it a 6.5 out of 10. I know it might seem a bit low to you, but that's my opinion. The next story is The Edge of Destruction, and from memory, this is a 2-episode story, all based in the TARDIS. If I remember correctly, this is like a B-side, and by that I mean it was basically filmed, and they had no idea of a success Doctor Who was going to be. It could have failed. They had this as a backup to obviously carry on the series. All I can really remember is the Doctor and his companions are kind of fighting on the TARDIS, and they're taken over by some kind of mind thing, and they go mad. Basically, each one of them goes mad. But yeah, recommending that it's not the best story in my eyes. I'd give it like a 4 out of 10, really. I must just say, also, The Unearthly Child, the first story I mentioned, it is worth you checking it out, and also the Daleks, it is worth you checking it out sooner rather than later. Edge of Destruction, perhaps leave it for another day. That's what I've got to say about that one. The next story is Marco Polo. Now, in the first 2 Doctors eras, there are a lot of deleted episodes, which really, frankly, pisses me off, and I'm sure it pisses you guys off too. We all want to see them, but we can't. I don't know much about Marco Polo, so I can't really rate it. I've never listened to it on audio or read the book. So I really can't rate this one. It wouldn't be fair to give my opinion on it, as I don't have one because I don't know about it, so I'm going to skip Marco Polo. The next story is The Keys of Marinus. Now, this is one of my favourite stories of this era. Basically, the Doctor and his companions land on an island and have to find 6 keys. I think it's 6. And these keys are scattered all across the universe, kind of like a very early version of the Key to Time. And obviously they, experience trouble and that along the way. But it's a very, very entertaining story. I rate this one 8.5 out of 10. Definitely worth watching. If you haven't already seen it, I'd get it on DVD and watch it, most definitely. Okay, so the next story is The Aztecs. Now, The Aztecs always makes me want to fall asleep. I say that because the last time I watched it, I fell asleep, and I ain't even joking. It isn't one of the best stories. I mean, I never was interested in the Aztecs in school. Maybe that's why I never liked the Aztecs, I don't know. I mean, I watched all these stories for the first time when I was about 7 or 8. So, 12, 14 years ago. About 1996, roughly. That was the era I was watching all these episodes. 94, 95, 96. But yeah, the Aztecs, Doctor and the crew, they land in Aztec land. Barbara gets mistaken for an Aztec god, which is a bit silly, really. And they just spend the whole story just fumbling about, really. Not that entertaining. I wouldn't recommend it straight away. 4 out of 10 is the Aztecs. If you guys disagree with me on any juncture of any episode or any story that I'm talking about, comment and let me know. Be interesting to see what you guys think. The next story is the Sensorites. Now, the Sensorites, again, is one of my favourites, although having said that, I haven't seen it for a very, very long time, because I don't think it's out on DVD just yet. I might be wrong. And I haven't seen it on video for a while, because, as I said, I sold them. But I do remember it being a fantastic story. The Sensorites are these like alien things and humanoid aliens, and I just remember seeing their feet. Their feet were like big round cardboard discs, and that's always